Well, welcome those of you who are live, and also welcome to those of you who are watching the replay of this very special webinar uh, with our Growth U family. We love to gather and really talk to each other about how all of the beautiful programs and the community, most importantly, support us in changing how we feel in all sorts of areas. So today, we talked about get a jump start on your New Year's resolution. And those of you who have watched our webinars know that resolutions typically don't work because all of you know the cycle of growth. And that when we start something new, we're all excited about it. We are in what we call inception, or it's just that magical time when we don't know anything. We know it's all going to be great. And we start and we dive in headfirst into something new. It's kind of like the first day of kindergarten, I always imagine, And then when we hit resistance, which is about 9 days later, anywhere from 5 to 9, and there's actually a National Quitters Day, which is when people who have a New Year's resolution, most people quit on that day, which is around January 9th. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below if you're watching this on replay. And what we know really supports people in their growth is to create habits and to have a very strong vision of what we want. So that's why we have Annette Forsyth on today, because y'all, she has an amazing story about changing her health in a very significant way. And for those of you who haven't heard Annette speak, Annette has been with Growth U as long as I have. We're getting up on 8 years, I think, something like that,
Yes.
8 years. And we become growth leaders, we become advisors, coaches, and through all that, probably done every program that Growth U has many times. And as well as all that, Annette is a mama, a grandmother, a wife to an amazing husband, is the vice president and CFO, right?
Yeah.
Yes, of a very successful physiotherapy practice where she lives in New Jersey and has supported people in her community all throughout her adult life in multiple areas. And when we think of Annette, we also think of love and her famous meatballs because she loves to cook for all of us. And the reason that I wanted to talk to Annette today, as I said, is that she has really transformed her health over the last many months. And I will let her tell the story. And I really want you to listen to some key words she uses, like focus, like vision, like mindset, and ease. Those will all come up, I guarantee you, as she tells her story. So Annette, thank you so much for being here. And
Thank you for me.
yeah, I always love when we get to chat and just, hang out. And tell me a little bit about, and I think we're going back about 9 months, right? 9 or 10 months? Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me how you felt then before you started this big change.
Well, I was getting an awful lot of signs from the universe,
Mhm.
from the heavens, from whatever, however you refer to your higher power. I started falling and I continually became deconditioned. My legs were weak. I had 5 concussions in 4 months. So I had there was a brain injury. I was falling. I couldn't walk. I was going to work every day. Um, and if I didn't start paying attention, it's amazing what happens when the fear of death hits you. I honestly, not only did I think I was dying, my family, my business partner, I had everybody really, really fearful for my well-being.
Mhm.
And I went to my doctor one afternoon and I was I was there for cortisone shots for my knees because I was having a flare up with my rheumatoid arthritis. And I looked, there was a table set up outside the reception area, and there were business cards and there were recipes. And I was looking at the table, and the recipes were amazing. And I grabbed her card, and it was a nutritionist. And put it in my purse, went on my way. You know, got told that couldn't have knee surgery because he wouldn't operate on me because of my weight. Now, weight's been an issue my whole life. I grew up in an Italian family. I don't think I need to say anybody who's Italian, especially, can relate. So I had this problem. And in my lifetime, I would be completely independently wealthy if I had a penny for every pound I've lost and gained over 66 years. So you try everything. You've been there, done that. You lose, you gain, and you don't make progress. You just do this yo-yo back and forth. And I've done that, and you give up, and you put ideas in your head. You create, when there's not a story, your brain will just create one for you. And you fill in the blanks that may not be true. And I just had myself in this corner that was never going to change. That was it. It was nothing I did was going to change. So I picked up the card and I brought it home, and it was at least 24 hours before I could pick up the phone. Like, why would you think it would be so difficult to call someone and ask for help? It's very difficult to ask for help sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I called her, and it was the end of the week, and I thought, well, you know what? She's probably busy. She'll get to me. She'll call me back when she has a moment. So I didn't really give it a thought until it was the weekend. It was a Sunday afternoon, and my phone rang, and this woman's on the other end of the phone, and she's apologizing to me because she hadn't called back. Her mother had just passed away, and I was like, please hang up the phone. Like, this is not the time. But she insisted, and she stayed on the phone with me. We talked for about an hour. I met her the next day. And Denise, when I tell you, she had a binder prepared for me from our conversation from the day before, filled with simple lifestyle changes and these incredible recipes. And and I sat there in her office, and the tears just rolled down my face. I came to a realization through all of this, and I hope it doesn't sound like rambling, but my husband is a recovering alcoholic. And I know how hard it is to fight an addiction. And I've learned to understand that illness, and really somebody who has a weight issue and somebody who has, it's not that different. Because if it was easy, we'd all be fine, right? So, and I sat and I listened to her words of encouragement, and I thought that I sat there and just had it all over before I even started. It's not going to work. I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and then I'm going to get it back, and it's going to be too hard. Mark's not going to want to eat the food. Like, I came up with every excuse you could imagine.
So y'all, Annette was going through, if you know the cycle of growth, all those justifications, there was resistance coming up hard and fast and strong, right?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And she just looked at me and she said, I've got your back now. I'm not going to let you fail. So now I already know I have this community behind me, but the power in those words that I've got your back. And she had seen me coming in and out of the doctor's office, which was interesting. And, I was walking with a cane. I was in bad shape. So, okay, something new to try. And we'll see what happens. I have to tell you, everything fell into place. When something is supposed to happen, it just, everything aligns and it all fell into place. I was doing our program Re-Evolution. We were in health and wellness and growth mastery. I had this binder. I got this. And I just started one day at a time. The first week she said, don't even try to change your habits. Just throw in more water, get rid of some of the stuff. And with RA, like you have to really get the inflammation out. I was debilitated, but I was also my joints, my hands, my legs, my shoulders, everything. It was to such an extreme. So I went, and 2 weeks later, I had a follow-up appointment and I was down 5 pounds. Okay.
Wow.
Well, I drank a lot of water. I drank a lot of water.
Now, Annette, can I ask you a question? So you clearly had a vision, right? So we think about
Yes.
the vision triad, right? There's the vision at the top, which is what you want
Mhm.
and who you want to
Right.
be, right? So
Right.
you wanted to be healthier. You wanted to feel like you were going to live more,
I
right?
had to make changes.
Yeah,
And so I had the vision, and my purpose was my health.
that's what I was going to ask you next. So
my purpose
can you tell everyone just a little bit? So purpose, for those of you who haven't heard that word before, purpose is your emotional fuel. So this is why. This is why Annette wanted to be healthier, why she still wanted to be here, why she wanted to stop falling, right? So why did you want all that?
well, I didn't want to feel that way anymore. We were getting ready for retirement. Like we have everything in front of us. And what was I going to do? Sit home the whole time because I couldn't walk around my block? I mean, it was bad. And I'd always been active. I've always been large, but I was healthy because I was active. But after COVID, all of that stopped for whatever reason. And I mean, it was a trying time for everybody. So, and the beauty of what we do here, Denise, is that we never get there, right? Even after all these years that we've been involved, I continue to learn something new every day. And today I realized that with all the losses and gains and all the yo-yo dieting that has happened in my world, I never got to the place, I never went through the transformation, and I never adopted the identity.
Mm.
So
Annette just said something beautiful, right? So we remember the cycle of growth. We've got inception. So that's when I don't know what I don't know. Then we got resistance, which would happen for Annette right away. As soon as she was in the office, she started making up like, no way, this isn't going to work. I'm going to get, it's not, not going to work. I'm going to gain it back. And then she got support to get her through to transformation. And she said, it was just easy. I didn't do big things. It was small little steps until, how did you feel? When did you realize you had a new identity in your health?
it sounds silly, and I haven't really come to the logic in my head. The accountant in me, right? It has to be logical. Denise, this has been the easiest thing I've ever done. It's been the easiest thing I've ever done. And it's been right. You have to, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a health expert. I'm an accountant. I'm the numbers girl. And there wasn't special cooking. There wasn't, I took white things out of my diet. And had natural carbs and had higher protein and just eating healthy, which is I didn't cook that way for my family, but there was a lot of bread and pasta and rice involved. And when you make the changes in your body happen really quickly. I would say it only took about a week for the inflammation. And I started following this plan. But it wasn't just the plan alone. I had the support of a community. I had the support of my nutritionist, who's now becoming one of my dearest friends,
Aw.
and has promised from here to tomorrow that she's not going to let me fail.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of afraid that I know she won't. I might be afraid sometimes. No, but is this, it just makes me wonder. It's made me wonder. Not, it's made me wonder in my heart when something is right, you know it. My grandma always used to tell us, and she said it about everything. If you never know if it's wrong, but you always know if it's right.
Yeah.
Well, this has to be the right way. And so nutritionally, I found what was going to work,
Mhm.
but I still had to work on my head because I still had all that old nonsense about, well, if you screw up one day, you've screwed the whole day, and or you've ruined the whole plan, or one mistake doesn't ruin everything. Who knew? Like
Uh, so
light bulbs.
how did the daily programs, you talked about re-evolution, how did that daily program help you?
Well, you know, at each day, these programs give you the tools to create, to write visions, create a new mindset,
Hmm.
set goals, find your new identities. They give you all the tools to let you live your best life.
Mhm.
What you focus on, the law of focus. Oh my God.
Yes,
What
tell
you
me about
focus
that.
on, you
Tell me about
find.
so yeah,
Oh,
so the law of focus, for all of you ever haven't heard it, it's what you focus on, you find, what you focus on grows, what you focus on seems real, and ultimately what you focus on, you become. So how did that help you, Annette, that law?
oh, well, I had my focus and I learned when I learned to work to deal with Mark's illness
Mm.
about how easy it is to focus on the wrong thing. My
Mhm.
fear of him having a relapse, my fear of blowing this new lifestyle could have been my demise. But instead, I focused on where I wanted to be. I focused on, oh my gosh, I can walk 20 feet now. Oh my gosh, I made it through the grocery store. Um, I focused on the grandma I want to be. The Nani has to be able to get on the ground and play. Like what? It just doesn't work any other way in my heart. And
Yeah.
so I changed my focus and I wanted to be here for my husband. I wanted to enjoy and we did change the word retirement to reawakenment because we have lots of adventures in front of us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of story here, right? But the bottom line is here we are. This all started in March, and here we are today, and I'm down 75 pounds, and I feel wonderful. And I'm a, I'm a, adapting that identity. I'm not. I don't. I used to look in the mirror, and it didn't matter how much weight I lost. I still saw that same person. It never changed. And now all of a sudden, I there's somebody different looking back in the mirror. So these tools, right? These tools, I found out I had my focus. I was in my, I was in state. I was gaining confidence each day and everything changed. And my lifestyle, my new lifestyle has become my way of life.
Mhm.
And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not scared to death every day. And not in a destructive way, it's a healthy fear. Because all those other times, no, I mean, I can have all the tools in the world, but you're still human. And those things, when it's gone backwards so many times, it takes a little time to really trust you hit the jackpot this time.
Mhm.
But I know I've made the changes, and I don't even think twice. When you can get to a point where you don't even have to, your mind just takes over. You don't even have to think about it. The behavior is natural. It's just who you are.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that is just a beautiful
But
feeling.
what you just said about you don't have to think about it, that is identity, right?
Yes.
So remember when I said at the beginning, it's like the first day of kindergarten, we don't know, we don't know. And we are unconsciously incompetent is what we call that, right? It's when you're a new driver and you get in and you're like, yeah, I can drive. I've seen my dad drive. I've seen my mom drive. And then you actually sit in the seat and go, holy crap, I have no idea what to do. Right. So at the beginning, Annette's mind knew that she needed a big change. The law of focus allowed her to find that nutritionist. And then as soon as she got in the office, the deception hit and the resistance and she created small change over time with support and daily work, daily small habits. That's what transformation is. It's putting in the reps. So there we are consciously competent until one day you're like, I don't have to think about it. Now you're an identity. Now you are unconsciously competent, and the effort of doing the thing that you said you wanted way back in March has now become easy. It's become a way of life. So that's such a beautiful example of what we do. It's all psychology, folks. It's all psychology. So, Annette, if there's somebody out there who is watching this recording who feels a little bit like you did back in March and felt like they were scared that they weren't going to be around because their health was so challenged, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to please come sit near me so I could hold their hand and talk to them
Yeah.
from the bottom of my heart, that
Mhm.
they don't have to feel alone. They don't have to be afraid, that they have everything they need inside of them. All the courage, all the strength, all the mindset, the focus, the everything they need is already inside them. And I'll tell you, I don't know if it's, I might not use the right adjective here. I don't know if it's a little frivolous because I live by that statement. And in my head right now, I walk around that there's nothing I can't do.
Mhm.
And it's empowering and it's given me confidence. And I am not afraid of being the biggest person in the room anymore.
Mm. Mm.
You know, when you have a weight problem, and there's things that you don't really say about because you think to yourself, well, at least I did. I shouldn't speak for everybody because I would get these thoughts like, what happened if I die and nobody could lift up the casket or I didn't fit? I mean, crazy. There's a lot of crazy that goes through, and it's human because, and especially if it's something you've carried your entire life, because all those added, you know, we inherit everybody else's habits
Yeah.
and beliefs, right? So all those things and everything I did, I never felt anything was good enough because I didn't look the part. I raised 4 children. I've published books. I've, you know, run a business. All the things that I've done. I was a professional volunteer. Nothing mattered because I was fat. And I still have a long way to go, but I'm a whole lot better off than I was 9 months ago. And now
Mm.
I'm excited. Now I'm excited because I'm within just a few pounds of where the doctor will do surgery and replace my knees. And I'm so like my goals are they're there now.
Mm.
And that's exciting. And even like through the holidays, with the holidays coming, you know, life is crazy. Everybody's a little crazy getting ready for the holidays. And my schedule, like trying to find a place where Kara and I could connect for appointments was like nuts. And she said, well, I think we're going to wait until the new year before we see each other again. And my first instinct was like, oh no, panic. I absolutely panicked. And then I thought, no, I've got this.
You do.
My stepping into her office isn't what's making me follow what I do, make
Yeah.
follow the changes. One of the first lessons I learned in Growth U was create the habit, let the habit create the behavior.
Yeah. Yep.
And
That's
and boy, when you get there,
oh,
it's a piece of cake.
I, Annette, I love you so much. Thank you so much
It's
for sharing
beautiful.
your story. You know, if you're watching this recording, any of you out there, and just a small part of Annette's story resonates, please reach out or, sign up. I've put in the comments below the link for when we start another version of Re-Evolution, which is January 8th. So Annette is actually going to be advising. So she gets to, you virtually get to sit by her, and she's going to hold your hand to help you create the health identity that will make things have a much easier change. So we can't wait to see you.
Oh, I can't wait.
You
I
need to
can't wait.
sign,
I'm so
yeah,
excited.
right? You need to sign up for this program. So wherever you are in the world, celebrate with your family, have a wonderful holiday season, whatever you celebrate, whether it be Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or Diwali or solstice, or all of them. We love you and we want you to be your healthiest self. So come and join us on January 8th. And know that we will support you every step of the way. So Annette, thank you
They
so
won't
much.
be alone. They
No,
won't be alone. If you
right.
join us, you won't be alone. And we'll be with you every step and learn together
Yeah,
because there is no there. It's just over and over and over.
right. There is no there. Well, my
Thank
love,
you
thank you
so
so much.
much.
Uh,
Mm.
we will see you soon. Jose, thanks for sticking around. And we will see you on another webinar soon. Bye, everyone.